forum. I come from northern Canada. I'm part of the Dene Nation, and I'm part of a group of people in the books. They call us Athabascans, and actually we're in Canada and the United States. We're in Alaska, and we're in the northern part of Canada, including northern parts of Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, British Columbia. But we're also in the lower 49th in the United States. There are many tribes down there that are also Dene or Athabascan. The Apaches, the Navajos, Hupas, there are different tribes. And our history tells us that some of our people moved south from the north. They moved south many years ago. And we still speak the same language. So we're a big nation of people. I will speak mostly about the north. I'm also, in my capacity as chief of my area, I'm also with the Assembly of First Nations as the regional chief, and I have environment as a portfolio, so I deal with that at the national and international levels. But I know more of what happens at home, and I can speak to that better than anywhere else. So I'll focus on that, especially with a short time frame. Many changes in the north. We see a lot, for example, the polar bears, what is happening to the polar bears. They're a little bit further north from where I am. We are next to the Inuit, and we have overlapping land with them. But what we now are talking about in the north is we need to put a face, a human face, to the climate change issue. We as Indigenous peoples are the closest people to the land and most vulnerable. And I'll tell you some of the things that are happening to us. We're finding that in recent years, and it's very interesting because our elders, like the Grand Chief beside me, have been telling the world for at least the last 30 years, since the early 70s, that the land is not the same, that the planet is not the same. They've noticed changes, and they notice these changes because they're close to the land. And only in the last maybe 10 years, people are now starting to recognize the changes that our people noticed right away. And some of the things in my area, for example, the month of November this year, the most snow ever in my part of the world, the most snow. And what is happening is, normally it gets very cold and it's very clear skies because it's too cold for condensation, or I don't know if that's the right word, condensation yet. But now we're having warmer weather, so it gets very cloudy, and we have more snow. And it gets very dangerous because for us, we are caribou people. We rely on the caribou. And usually it doesn't rain. Once it starts to snow, it snows for the rest of the winter season. But now what is happening is, in October or even as late as November, it is starting to rain. And what happens is, if it rains after the snow, then ice will form on top. And it's very hard on the animals. The caribou and the other animals cannot get under that layer of ice. They can't get under it to eat, so they get malnourished. And if they walk, and they go through that thin layer of ice, they cut they get cut up, and then they get affected by that. That's just one example. We also have more rain in the summer. Where we are, it's actually semi-desert, where the tundra is and so on. Now we're getting more rain than ever. And we're in, with the warmer weather, more animals from the south are moving north. We have cougars in our area, for example, which we never heard of. We have deer, which never used to come to our area. We have new birds. This year, in our area, we only have ravens, which are the big black birds. Now there are the smaller crows. We never used to have them. When we first saw them in the spring, we thought they were the baby ravens. But they never got any bigger. And so we don't know how that's going to affect. We don't know how that's going to affect all sorts of things, insects, other birds. Will they go after their eggs, and so on. There are new plants. Plants are coming from the south, and they're taking over where other plants were. For example, we pick a medicine, and we're finding now in these fields there are other plants that are coming in, taking over where that medicine was. So we don't know how that will affect our traditional medicines. And we don't know these plants, because usually they don't grow, they don't come up north. We're finding with the weather change, more people are getting sick. More diseases are coming in. Usually in the winter it gets cold and all the germs are killed with the cold weather. But now, and this may be a phenomenon all over the world because of people traveling and so on, but we're finding more sickness. In our part of the world, there's an interesting phenomena. It's called permafrost. The ground is permanently cold, even in the summer. It may get soft for first part, but then underneath it, it stays frozen. But what is happening now is with the heat, it's melting, and that's having an effect. There's some places where the trees cannot stand up straight because their roots cannot stand up, so the trees are hanging upside down, like they're falling over, and there's the term drunken trees.